Hi, today I'm going to show you how to put together the baseball bench box card from Simply Crafty SVGs. And I do like to do my piecing first. So we're going to take the ball and we're going to glue on the white portion of the ball to the red background. Just try to center it best you can. Go around the edges, just making sure the red doesn't show through. I just like to get the piecing out of the way so I can just, when I put together the card, I can just put it together all at once. I like to get for me it's not, I get tired towards the end, so I want to get the more detailed stuff done first. So we're going to piece together the baseball helmet. You know, feel free to make these any colors you want. Whatever makes sense to you. I thought this card was cute because it kind of made me think of Little League. That's why I made it gray, but you can make a regular wooden bat, obviously. But I just thought of the aluminum bats. Used to play during softball for me, too. So we're going to add this little grip to the little baseball bat. It's a little bit bigger. Just try to get it so it's centered. And then this is where the baseball helmet's going to go on the insert, and then the ball. So next we'll put together, these are all the pieces for the bench part of the card. So we're going to put together the card first. So that bottom portion was just fold everything on the scores as shown, and it'll attach just like that. So let me get it rearranged here. And we'll go ahead and add glue to that right tab. Then you just want to match up. I'm flipping it over so the texture is showing on the front. I'm going to match up that leg edge to the fold, the tab fold. And then apply pressure to secure it. And then we're just going to fold that other piece over. I had to just be careful how I'm doing it. Go to the right there. The reason we wanted to do it this way, it's flat. It makes it easy to glue the second tab. So we'll add glue on that second tab. And then we're going to match up the other edge to that fold. And see how it just folds over nicely? So it keeps it nice and square. And so now you have the base of the bench, which is, you can see it's already taken shape. It's a real easy card. So I actually embossed each of the panels for the front and sides with a wood grain embossing folder. I'll have a link below if you're interested in what I used. So I went ahead and attach that to the front of the card. It's a little bit longer, so you know that panel does not fit perfectly. I lined it on the top, but I made it go just a little bit longer over the edge so you didn't see the little bottom edge of the bench. So if this ever happens to you with embossing folders, it can split your paper. I wasn't going to give up. I could have recut it, but you can kind of move it around to get it placed so you can't even tell it ripped there. This happens with really deep embossing folders, even though I was using real thick cardstock. So be careful with that. That's why be careful with what embossing folders you use with different papers. I usually test a little bit before, but usually I don't have problems with American cardstock. American craft cardstock, I should say. But this split a little bit. But you can't even tell now. So we're going to go ahead, and now we added the panels to the front of the bench and the sides of the bench. We're going to add the panels to the back of the bench. Had a little hiccup there. So you just want to match it up with the sections, and this just creates a little bit more dimension. Oh, you just saw my glasses there. I can't see without my glasses. What happens after you get older? And you just notice I switched up. I had a craft pad before, but you couldn't really, the color of the bench was just washed out. So I just had to remove my craft mat for this video. So now it kind of looks like wood, like a wood bench with that additional panels on it, creating a little bit more dimension. And you could pop them up too with some foam tape. That would be fun. Give it a little bit more, even more dimension on that back. So now it's coming together. It's starting to look like a bench now. So now we're going to add those, the things we pieced earlier, the helmet and the ball. We're going to add them to the inserts, and I'm just using double-sided foam tape to pop them out a little bit, give them a little bit more dimension, and just lining them up with the shapes on the inserts. Oops, there we go. So for my example, I put the ball in the front, so I'm going to fold those forward. So I'll be putting that insert in the front, and then we'll put the helmet in the back. So we want to place it, so we're going to add glue to that one tab. Since we want it in the front, we want to line it up to the front edge. We want to line up that tab edge to the front corner edge. And just drop it down a little bit on the side. You don't want it too far down. You want to be able to see the elements. And then we can go ahead and apply pressure by flattening it if you need to. Because of the texture, sometimes you need to do that with that kind of cardstock, for me at least. Then we'll apply it or adhere it similarly on the other side. Again, trying to place it in the same location, away from the bottom of the side. Away from the top of the side, I should say, not the bottom of the side. And go ahead and flatten it. And I always flatten it both ways because it kind of self-adjusts the inserts if they're a little bit off. These were a little bit curved, so I didn't glue it exactly straight across. It doesn't really take away anything from the card. As you can see, it just kind of moves a little bit. But if that happens, I wouldn't worry about it. It has to do the way that my card stock was folding on this project. Doesn't happen all the time, but for some reason this particular color I was having difficulty with. Shouldn't be any different because I use American Crafts cardstock for most of my projects. So you can see I align that the tab edge to the back of the card on this one. So what this is doing is creating spacing. This is the reason I place it where I do. So the elements are equally spaced. So again, you can see a little bit closer there, or a little bit better, I should say. Then once I had it set, I fold it flat so it can secure it. And again, I do it both ways just to make sure that it folds okay. Then you can place the bat wherever you want. I have it like it's leaning against the front. You're going to see it in a minute. The big thing to be careful about is don't make sure it doesn't go below the bottom of the legs. I did that on a card earlier, and not this one, but I did it earlier. So this, I'm actually inking the edges a little bit because I didn't line it up really well at the handle. So inking's a great way to quote unquote hide little mistakes, but there are no mistakes in crafting. Crafting's crafting. Then you just place the bat where you want. I liked it to the left, like it was leaning, but just make sure you don't have it too far down so it goes past the legs, and too much to the left a little bit. You just don't want it. You want to be able to fit it when you flatten it into an envelope still. So you could put it sideways for, if you wanted it horizontally, you could do it horizontally. It's up to you. Then you could just add your own sentiment. You see there's plenty of room on the front to do that. Or the side. And then on the back, you can add a little blank message cutout that's included. So you can add a personalized message, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed this project. I enjoyed making it, and thank you so much for watching.